Evening, everyone.
चीज़ें आएंगी कितने एक्साइटेड हैं आप उसके लिए?
यार मोर देन एक्साइटेड, जो ख्यालात हैं, जो बातें हैं, और जिस एज पे कुछ लोग ये बातें कर रहे हैं, जैसे अभी हमने कॉन्फ्रेंस में बताया कि 13 साल की बच्ची हैं, बहुत सारे यंग लोग हैं यार, 21, 22, 23, 24 साल के, जो ऐसे ऐसे कार्य कर रहे हैं। और मुझे ये मालूम है कि जितने भी जवान लोग होते हैं अपनी ज़िंदगी बनाने के बारे में सोचते हैं, लेकिन मैंने बहुत पहले एक बात सीखी थी, एक किताब में कहीं पढ़ा था कि बिज़नेस वही अच्छा होता है जो लोगों की ज़िंदगियां बदल सके, वो सक्सेसफुल होता है। बट हम आई थिंक ये रोज़मर्रा के बिज़नेस प्लान्स में ये सब बातें भूल जाते हैं। हम सोचते हैं सिर्फ इट शुड बी इकोनॉमिकली और फाइनेंशियली वायबल। ये जितने भी लोग हैं, आई थिंक इनका कान इन्होंने उल्टा पकड़ा है या सीधा पकड़ा है कि ये लोग जो हैं सोच रहे हैं ऐसा क्या काम करें जिससे लोगों की ज़िंदगी बदल सके और वो खुद अच्छा बिजनेस बन जाता है। बिकॉज मैं जेन्युइनली बिलीव करता हूँ कि जो भी कार्य करो वो ज़िंदगी भर का होना चाहिए। सो आई थिंक जो नई बातें मैंने सीखी हैं कि यंग लोग कितने इंटरेस्टिंग थॉट्स जो वेल मीनिंग हैं, उनको अपने ज़िंदगी का मकसद, लक्ष्य या वर्क जॉब बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। एंड आई थिंक दैट इज़ रियली रियली इनोवेटिव, इंटरेस्टिंग। और इस बार जूलियट एंड क्रिस ने आई थिंक और स्टार ने मिल के ये भी डिसाइड किया है कि यू कॉल पीपल ऑन द शो whose work has some empirical evidence that it has worked also. It's not just a conversation. Even conversations are wonderful, but they have actually gone on ground and made an impact. So this time the conversations, नई बात ये है कि जो conversations कर रहे हैं उसका जो impact हो चुका है वो भी हम शो के अंदर दिखा रहे हैं। And I think that is very encouraging when new people take on new ideas.
शाहरुख, आपने पहले भी टेड टॉक्स को दिया है वेयर यू सेड दैट यू आर अ पेडलर ऑफ लव। अगर अब आपको किसी चीज़ पर टेड टॉक्स देना हो, आप किस पर देंगे?
Even last time, Juliet, Juliet told me what to talk on TED Talks. She said, talk about love. So I'll always give talks on love. I only know how to love.
And he
Nothing
gave a
else.
lot of love to the speakers. I mean, he says he doesn't meet the speakers beforehand, but he does talk to them about giving a TED talk and puts everybody at their ease before he gives their talk, and gives them all a lot of love as well.
And she wants to know what is the topic for the next TED Talk that you may or may not invite me for.
Well, we'll definitely invite him. Whether he'll agree or not is a whole other thing. But I think what we will probably focus on is protecting our world, the planet, and what we do to build a brighter future for future generations.
Good evening to you. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you too.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
You come across a very angelic personality. We saw you on the stage. So, बहुत ही प्यारे लग रहे थे आप बात करते हुए. You were
I
very
think you're
angelic.
very sweet when you talk.
Thank you. I care deeply about these programs, and I've made incredible friends here in India.
And, we have seen that with time and increasing, there are rapidly increasing topics which are tempting contents which come across. How you think this is TED Talks is relevant coming through all the years and still will remain relevant in the coming days?
I think the TED content changes all the time, and we try not to impose an American sensibility or a British sensibility. I think the reason we work with a company like Fremantle and with Shah Rukh as our host and with Star is that it's very important that we find people who are local. We don't try and change the way, we don't try and impose the way we would do something in a different country. We try and make it work for here.
So, spreading the ideas, probably was the main core idea of TED Talks. पर फिर भी rigidity of thoughts रहता है लोगों के मन में. आप क्या चाहते कि ऐसा कौन सा विषय हो जिससे लोगों की जागरूकता जागे?
You're in trouble.
साइलेंट पे कर लो.
And there is more openness as far as community, as person, as far as a society is concerned.
I think I'm personally very encouraging of people coming out and speaking their minds out, saying what they feel, and believing, what they're saying is the right thing to do according to them. It need not be according to the world. But I think there will be some restrictions because I think we're in a nascent stage of social media where things are obviously overreacted to, over talked about, and sometimes I think because people start responding before thinking or even understanding, what the person has said, people just want to write and like or dislike or a comment on it. So I think as we pass through this nascent stage of social media where the accessibility to comment and talk is all over the place, I think we will settle down to exchanging ideas for what I think social media was really meant for. That you sit down and say a good thing, and it may not be a thing. I was saying it there on stage that a lot of the talks that happen on TED Talks, even in our show, I find them many a time something that I've never agreed with, or I think no, I should do it in a certain manner. But when I see the honesty and the reason behind somebody following a different path, at least my mind opens up to accepting that there are 2 ways or 3 ways or 5 ways to look at the same thing. I may still follow my way, but I think it's important to respect, look at other people's way. If you can learn from it, good. If you can't, you just don't diss it because it doesn't happen to be your way of thinking. I think that's the most important thing. The thoughts need breathing and living space. You have to allow a thought to have a heartbeat instead of killing it just because it's not yours.
Shah Rukh, this is your second season, but we have seen you hosting other TV shows before. How do you innovate as a host? You have done this a lot of times, but still, how do you try and come up with something new? And how much do you enjoy yourself as a host, TV host?
There are lots of television shows when people come up to me. I think I'm a little more inclined towards things that make you think a little, not just, because dancing, jumping, acting, I do on films. I would like a television show to be, if not inspirational is too strong a word, but at least, makes you think a little bit, say, okay, interesting, it was different from just dancing and jumping because that's what we do for a living. Also the content of the show guides how you should do it, just like the content of a film does. Then you have some wonderful friends here who have become friends, who started off as collaborators like Juliet and the team of people who also have obviously much more experience than I've had in something like a TED Talk. So like I said, I keep open my mind, and as an actor I think it's most important to understand why she does what she does or why Chris started something like this, and try and invoke that in your anchorship or how you're doing it. The other thing in this show important is that you have to remember you're not the hero of the show. You're actually with heroes and facilitating them on a stage just to come out and say their ideas. And if I can do that as an actor, as a star, I think for me it becomes a new challenge. Not only a challenge, it just changes me as an actor. So I think what I find really interesting is this is not a stage where I'm the center of attraction. I am just the motivator or the initiator or the facilitator of putting the spotlight on the real heroes for the new India in this case, or everywhere else in the world. So I get inputs from Juliet and all, and we are such friends now that they can openly tell me, this wasn't nice, can you maybe this person, and I take all the thoughts and try and put it across.
But I think both Chris Anderson and I would tell you and tell everybody that you have taken TED to a whole new level.
Thank
And
you.
I mean that. I absolutely mean that, because TED, at the TED conference, the conference is hosted by people who work at TED. We have never had a big movie star hosting TED, ever in our lives. We didn't think about actually having a movie star to host TED in India. The most important thing for us was to have somebody with a really big brain. And what we found in Shah Rukh is somebody who is obviously a wonderful actor, obviously a great dancer, all of those jumping, etc. But you have a big brain, you are engaged, and you are an incredibly generous human being.
Sir,
दोनों बोल दो मैं
इंडिया में मूवीज बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग मीडियम है लोगों को इंस्पायर करने का। टेड में इतनी सारी कहानियां आपके पास आई, कोई एक ऐसी कहानी है जिससे आप इंस्पायर होकर कोई मूवी या कोई कुछ अलग सी चीज़ बनाना चाहें बट योर प्रोडक्शन?
शाहरुख सर, एक और इससे रिलेटेड है कि आप रोमांस के किंग हैं और कहते हैं कि प्यार से बड़े बड़े मसले हल हो सकते हैं। क्या टेड टॉक्स नई बात में वैसा कोई आइडिया लेकर आएंगे जिससे स्पीकर इस सब्जेक्ट पर बात करे और दूसरों के मसले हल हो पाएँ?
I think both of you, what you said, I think some of the ideas that people come and speak, कुछ ऐसे ideas हैं जो लोग इस मंच पर बोल रहे हैं, कुछ ऐसी कहानियाँ हैं जैसे नाम कभी कभी मेरे को नामों की प्रॉब्लम है, कविता देवी जी हैं शायद, 12 साल की उम्र में शादी हो गई, पढ़ने लिखने का मौका नहीं मिला, और उनको जब आप मिलें, अगर आप जब शो देखेंगे, इतनी आउटगोइंग और हंसमुख औरत है और naughty. I was talking about the lady with the Khabar Lahariya.
Oh my goodness.
She's so naughty and so sweet and so full of life. And then you hear what she's gone through. At the age of 12, शादी हो गई, no education. And then उन्होंने newspaper शुरू कर दिया है, खबर लहरिया करके. And she felt people should know what's happening in the world, plus should give a feedback what should happen in their world to change their lives. Hundreds and thousands of ladies who are uneducated from backward classes have joined her, and they're doing such an amazing thing, and their life is good, they're happy, and all the problems they solve of their personal lives and other people's through this one mode of communication that they've developed. I think it's very inspiring, can be a film. So many stories like that, which you hear, you say, okay, this could be a film, maybe not a fully commercial film, but it has, germs and ideas and thoughts of, because finally it's the same thing. A good story comes from a good thought, comes from a good idea. So whether it's in real life or in cinema, whether we adapt it to cinema, the bottom line is the seed. Does it come from a good place? It will always be a great story to tell.
Thank you, guys.
Nayi,
Thank you. Sumit, please.
So in addition to the 3.5 hours, we have 29 days to go. A very special day on your birthday. How will be this time? अगर आप कुछ बताना चाहें?
I don't want to tell you anything because I've kept a surprise party for you all.
Thank
But I've tell you it won't be a surprise.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.